long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
So, if you're paying any attention to what's going on with Star Wars lately, the Acolyte trailer is just getting crushed in the comments, and the ratio of dislikes to likes has gone up incrementally. It is unbelievable the backlash against this stupid show no one wanted except for Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland. As you can see, it's at 78% dislikes. I predict it's going to be 80% before the show even hits. Meanwhile, it's only 5% dislikes against Tales of the Empire. Now, let's talk a little bit about the way forward. We've got James Mangold announcing he's developing Dawn of the Jedi, and obviously, if you come here, you know that Kathleen Kennedy won't have anything to do with it, which is a positive. Mangold is a capable director. Then we've got Mando and Grogu not only going into production in early June, apparently. Also, it's going to be dropping on May 22nd of 2026. Now, I have a theory here that they're starting to plot the restoration of the franchise that we know as Star Wars. Okay, and I got a lot of things I want to say. That there's a reason why you have sometimes inappropriate actors involved in roles they shouldn't have. If you're filming in California, there is a law on the books by the California State Legislature that demands that films are representative of the so-called population. So if you see minorities that really don't work in a role, you can bet your sweet bippy that the show is being filmed in California. And that's just something that's going to be a stumbling block. But, you know, Mando and Grogu, I think, will be an excellent movie. It's a Favreau-Filoni thing, probably with a lot of influence from George, and it's going to lead into Filoni's movie, Heir to the Empire. Okay. And despite Ryan Cannell and Gary Nerdrotic, this doesn't mean that it leads right into the sequel trilogy. It's a lie for money, and that's all it is when they do that shit. And they don't care about telling the truth. They don't care about getting the right news out. They're not reporters like some of them claim to be. This is just the way YouTube is now. I don't make money at this, obviously. But I want to say that the way forward is going to be through Mandalorian and Grogu to Heir to the Empire. And I really think this is going to be a step in the right direction. Okay, look, don't give a fuck what they think. Don't give a fuck what they feel. These YouTubers' opinions are nada to me. The sequel trilogy doesn't sell merchandise. It doesn't sell tickets. It doesn't sell anything. And it's just the way it is. Sequel trilogy is something that needs to go away because it is now becoming more of a benign tumor on the franchise. If anything of it is explored further, it'll wreak havoc. If you notice, again, I'm going to reiterate, the Rey movie has not been mentioned at all anywhere. Okay, the Rey movie has not been mentioned. And I really look at what John and Dave are doing as this is the restoration period. This is the restoration of what Star Wars is and what it could be again, if done right. And I think Jon Favreau is the guy to do it.
You lack conviction.
Incoming craft, identify yourself.
So, what does a restoration look like? We have to talk about what are the elements that make Star Wars great. First off, it's the hero's journey, and it explores the monomyths in human culture from Western culture to Far Eastern culture. It explores religious faith, how government works, and human relations, how human beings interact with basically their world around them. Okay, and for a long time we haven't gotten that. Now, do I believe George is going to be a part of this? Yes, I do. You can't restore Star Wars without him looking at what they want to do and giving his critique. And these two guys know that, and John and Dave know that, and I think what they're going to create is something that George would approve of. The Filoni movie is where everything changes. Okay, this is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. You're going to see the changes start. And then with the Heir of the Empire, you'll see him big. Now, here's where I think the idiots out there, the big YouTubers, are missing something. Hayden Christensen has been front and center all over the place since Ahsoka. Okay? Every time Anakin Skywalker shows up in anything, Vader shows up in anything, people are excited. Okay, and of course the story is really about him and his family. So to restore Star Wars to its greatness, this guy's got to be front and center. It has to revolve around him. Okay, now we've got Anakin paying attention to Ahsoka. Let's get him paying attention to Luke too. Anakin has a destiny to fulfill, but there has to be also a center around his relationship with his son. Let's go further. Han Solo. This is a character that people loved, people still love, people don't know what the hell to do right now because the horrible way Kathleen Kennedy allowed him to be portrayed. Okay. The fact of the matter is, when you look at him and you look at the arc we had in the EU, it was an evolutionary character arc because human beings, as they grow older, grow in character. They change. And Han Solo, sorry to say this, was not allowed to change. In fact, if you look at the sequel trilogy, he devolved. And that, I find it hilarious. But liberals, when I was a kid, always got pissed off when conservatives would say something bad about somebody who is trying to redeem themselves. Now, it's the Pablo Hidalgos of the world saying this about this character. He is not redeemable. And it's tied up in their feminazi bullshit. He's arrogant, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he is. And if you know he's calling his bluff. Leia called his bluff. Okay, that's the thing. But again, male-female relationships are not allowed to be looked at in the Kennedy Star Wars era. Leia, I don't know why they thought they had to make her a major hag, but they did. The fact that Carrie wasn't healthy enough to go, what the fuck are you doing? To Rian Johnson, to J.J. Abrams, bothered me a great deal. First off, again, J.J. Abrams himself said he never should have broken them up. I mean, Han and Leia. You think so, dumbass? Okay, so what do? You give her femininity. She earned her womanhood, okay? She wasn't just this robot that they've turned her into. She earned her womanhood. She earned that relationship she had with Han. That's where she became a grown-up. And we need the twins, okay? We need Jaina and Jason. Now, I'm not going to say we get them, but we should have them, okay? Let's look at Luke. They literally took everything Luke became away from him. This was Rian Johnson and I think J.J. Abrams subverting expectations. And really, when you look at what they did to Luke, what they did to Han, in their own ways, what they did to Leia, it was literally a fuck you to the franchise. Rian Johnson literally wanted to destroy everything that was Star Wars, which is why he killed off the bad guys so early. Okay, leaving JJ with absolutely fucking nothing. Okay, and without any recourse into creating a new villain. Okay, they had to revive Palpatine. It's like, what the fuck? So, if we get Grandmaster Luke Skywalker, who's the architect of a new Jedi Order, and he's training Han and Leia's kids, he's training other kids. He has a almost mentor-mentee relationship with Ahsoka. He's able to communicate with his father, Obi-Wan, and Yoda, and become the most powerful Jedi that ever lived. That's what we want to see. That's Luke's destiny. Anakin's destiny is to be the father, is to take over for the father. Okay. Anakin is literally going to take that place. That was his destiny as the chosen one. Okay. Luke, in reality, is going to rebuild the Jedi Order, which is what we should have gotten had they gone and followed Heir to the Empire and New Jedi Order, etc., etc. But instead, they came up with this dumpster fire bullshit storyline with the Mary Sue, which is not Star Wars, which has nothing to do with it. So the way forward is to restore Anakin Skywalker, which they're doing, obviously now, to being the center of the story. And of course, they also have to bring Gina Carano back for Mando. That is so important for the movie. Okay, that is so important. Anakin Skywalker is the center. Luke, as his son, is carrying the Jedi, the flame of the Jedi forward. And Han and Leia are literally the mother and father of the first beginnings of that new Jedi Order. Okay, and we're going to hopefully get something about that in Mando and Grogu. Okay, and I'm trying not to worry so much about side characters because Luke, Han, and Leia, and Anakin are the most important. But Heir to the Empire is the step forward to a new direction and a restoration. Okay. And I really think that even George made a mistake in looking at the EU as not his story. Okay. Because he didn't look at the EU as canon. That's fanboy, fangirl mythology. Okay. That's not real. Okay. But what he wanted to do can be incorporated into what John and Dave are doing that is probably going to be born out of the EU. Heir to the Empire is EU. Timothy Zahn. Okay. And what they need to do is then to reflesh out everything surrounding it. Why is Anakin the center of attention? Because the story is really about him and his family. Fix Han Solo. Fix his relationship with Leia. Fix Leia. Give Luke back the kudos that he earned. That's all they have to do. And that would be the restoration of the franchise. In my opinion, that would bring fans back and shut down the big YouTube narrative. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.